I can do it.
Don't do it, man.
Don't do it, Banks. Oh, God.
He's doing it.
He's terrible.
Big Ruby's doing it.
He's terrible. That's why he ain't singing by day.
I'm going to let him have his moment. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
This is horrible.
I know it ain't. It's Whitney Houston, man. This is a Whitney-friendly show tonight.
I understand, but that was Carlton Banks, and that was terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Grizzy, it was bad. Grizzy, it was real bad.
Question his testosterone levels for a minute.
Yeah,
He
sounding a real I'll be sure right now and whatnot. He's off on his own.
I'll be sure Christopher Williams. I can't get him mixed. They can get mixed up.
He was off on his own on that one.
Hey, while you joking, we do know some. I'll be sure some men who are some straight up I'll be sure lovers.
That's me.
Hold on, man.
You can talk about me all you want, but I'm gonna tell you, I'll be sure is singing at my daughter's wedding. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I'm gonna work that out.
Does that dude still walk?
Hey, my mama had a way of working out the Manhattan singing at my sister's wedding because we all from Jersey City and whatnot, and they was there.
But I'll be sure, dog.
But you know what? I'm thinking if my mama could pull off one of the coolest, most classic, and Kate was at that wedding with me. So when we bring him on, he could tell y'all.
I'll be sure.
My mama pulled off one of the coolest soul classic groups of the 60s and 70s. And hey, look, I am feeling I'll be sure. I like that yellow curly head falsetto singing dude. And if I want him at my daughter's wedding, then so be it. That's how we gonna roll. So hey, look, it's my daughter. What can I say? All right. We're going to move on.
Wow.
We're going to move on. Hey, I just had a revelation. Hey, if you could come in here, Big Rube, last week and wild out in my absence, I can have a moment.
Man, I'm not mad at you for having your moment, but I'll be sure, man.
That's my dude, man.
I mean, if you said Christopher Williams, I might give you some respect. No, I wouldn't.
I just have to be off on my own on this.
I mean, go ahead and get Nino Brown and all that, man. Bring back New Jack City, you know what I'm saying?
He was killing him softly. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Hey, look. New York Knicks have a new basketball player. Jeremy Lin was signed as a free agent by the New York Knicks on December 27th, 2 days after the NBA season began in Madison Square Garden, in which the New York Knicks defeated the Boston Celtics in the building we all know as the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Jeremy Lin proceeded to sit on the bench for the New York Knicks for the next 6 weeks, including a stint in the D-League. The D-League is the minor leagues for the NBA. About a week ago Saturday, Jeremy Lin was inserted into a game against the New Jersey Nets. This game was on the tail end of a very, very bad period for the Knicks. I believe they had lost 7 of 9 of 15. It was terrible. The Knicks have been playing terrible with the greatest players, so-called greatest players in the league, 2 of the top 15 greatest players, and Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire. We all know Amari Stoudemire had to leave the team for a week following the tragic death of his older brother in a car accident in Florida. Insert Jeremy Lin. He goes and he scores a ton of points, has a bunch of assists off the bench, Grizz. Off the bench. Off the bench. Wow. The night later, next night or 2 nights later against the Utah Jazz, he has his first start. And he goes out there and he tears it up.
Lit him up.
Next thing you know, you got cats in the stands wearing Jeremy Lin jerseys. You got people on national news stations, not just the 4-letter network, but we talking about CNN, NBC, and Comcast, and Time Warner. Anybody who's paying attention, they want to talk to you about Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin is the first Taiwanese, Chinese, American-born player in National Basketball Association history.
Taiwanese.
When you got somebody like Yao Ming, he, of course, played in the NBA, but he was born in his home country. Jeremy Lin, of course, is American-born. So, before we get into his play on the court, let's talk a little bit about the pop culture things that have people talking about Jeremy Lin. Now, the first thing that I will say is your man, Floyd Mayweather, put out a tweet this week. Floyd Mayweather, and I'm not going to read the tweet verbatim, but the gist of the tweet, Grizz, and I'm going to go to you first.
Right.
The gist of the tweet was that people are wilding out over Jeremy Lin right now basically because he is Asian American.
Right.
Not that he's playing the best basketball
balling out
in
right
a
now.
4-game span. Now let's talk about that before I give you a moment. Jeremy Lin has scored more points in his first 4 starts than any player in the NBA since the 1976-77 merger. 109 points.
Wow.
That's more than Shaquille O'Neal. That's more than Irvin Johnson. That's more than Larry Bird. That's more than Michael Jordan. That's more than LeBron James. That's more than Kobe Bryant. That's more than anybody. Jeremy Lin, 109. Jay Grizzy Green, what you got to say?
First of all, no disrespect to Floyd. Floyd, I mean, it's like this. Was he lying? And I'm a Knicks fan since '94. I will state.
And I know you are, and that's why I want you to be first.
Is he lying? I think Floyd speaking. I mean, first of all, Floyd don't have any basketball connection. So I mean, he's talking out the side of his neck. He's just probably trying to get some play on with Pacquiao or whatever, using that Asian term. So we all who kind of know Floyd or follow Floyd knows that he's saying that for a buzz. Yeah, to be politically correct, he's wrong. But is he lying? I think one of the things he said was a lot of media buzz is on Jeremy Lin, but because he's new to the game. There's a lot of NBA players, mainly because the NBA is mainly African American, that David Stern will yoke that chain on you real quick if you come out of pocket with some nonsense, at a press conference or anything like that, or you're acting out of character. I mean, Jeremy Lin fits the perfect feel-good story. Harvard, worked hard, came from immigrant parents, and he got his opportunity, and he made the best of it. I mean, I'm not going to get on Floyd because Floyd just Floyd. You know what I'm saying? But
he brought up something that a lot of people are thinking, though.
Yeah, he's just saying what's on the ground.
He just said it. And
ain't no NBA player going to say it.
No.
Because they don't want to, get the questions and deal with the press. So what you mean by that?
Carlton, when I look at the statement from Floyd Mayweather, and Grizzy has a great point, the fact that he put it out there mostly because he wants to keep his name of himself out there.
He really does.
But keeping in mind the statement that he made, and I'm going to give my opinion on that in a minute. I want to hear what you guys say. What do you think about Floyd Mayweather, who's a boxer, coming out and making the statement that he made about Jeremy Lin, who's a basketball player?
When I hear his statement, I think about my man who used to do the Monday Night Football theme song, what his son said. His son said, "My daddy is a musician. He should stick to music. He's not a politician. Therefore, he should not do anything with politics."
Are you ready for some football, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I didn't want to put his name out there. But the thing is, the man has talent. I don't care what race, creed, color, ethnic background, sexual preference, anything. The boy has talent. Whoa. He's found a way to finally make it to where a lot of people want to get to, that being the NBA, the elite status. We are supposedly the best country to have basketball, and he's at the pinnacle of it. So why not, hype him up a little bit? He's a good news story. He's got a black first name, Jeremy, and then the last name.
You say Jeremy is a black name?
Okay. All right. I won't say he got a black name, but he's got at least I'll say this much:
American.
He's got a common American name, and therefore, okay, I'll take back the but he's got a common name. I mean, that's the whole thing. If you just said Jeremy, boom, Jeremy who? Lin. The Lin is the part that really throws you for the loop, and you're wondering who the heck is this guy. When you see his talent, man, he can ball. He's seeing the floor. How old is the cat?
23, I believe. Big Rube. When I look at Jeremy Lin and I watch him play, particularly in the game against the Lakers on Friday, I saw a player who saw the defenses that were coming at him. They tried to force him to his left. He was able to get around that. I saw a player who potentially could be a product of Mike D'Antoni's system. May not necessarily be a great player, but he could be a great player in the D'Antoni system. Where I make that statement, I look at somebody like Steve Nash, who was an all-star in Dallas, who became a Hall of Famer in Phoenix. Under who? Under D'Antoni. I see a player like Chris Duhon, who is a marginal at best point guard everywhere he had been before coming to New York. As a player for Mike D'Antoni, he became pretty decent point guard. And if you look at him now, he's riding the pine in Orlando. I see a guy like Raymond Felton, who, coming from Charlotte, was an okay so-so point guard who really should have made the All-Star game in his half season under Mike D'Antoni. Right now, he's in danger of getting waived in Portland. So I wonder if the Jeremy Lin thing is going to go beyond the 5 games. You got Amari Stoudemire's coming back tonight, Carmelo in the next couple of days. Big Group, where do you see going forward with Jeremy Lin, given what we just talked about or what I just said?
First of all, as the resident college basketball expert here, let me give you some background. The dude played at Harvard in the Ivy League. In the Ivy League, they do a lot of backdoor cuts, especially Harvard and Princeton. Backdoor cuts. They do a lot of pick and rolls, pick and pops, that sort of thing. What you saw against the Lakers is basically the Jazz 2000. The Jazz 1990 to 2000. That's what you saw. There's no team in the league who uses pick and rolls better than John Stockman and Karl Malone. Once they both retired, you hadn't seen a team do pick and roll effectively in years. And against the Lakers, the beneficiary of the pick and roll was Tyson Chandler. The dude with the dreads, I don't even know his name.
Reynaldo Balkman.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And who else? The other guy. I can't remember his name. But you saw a lot of pick and rolls in that game against the Lakers. You also saw a lot of the Lakers saying, okay, you're going to beat us. And that's what he did. He beat the Lakers. As a Lakers fan, I can say that, he scored 38 points. He needed every point that he scored to beat the Lakers, because obviously he became the number 1 offensive threat for that Knicks team. Now, with that being said, let's not get our panties in a wad yet. Mike D'Antoni is not the smartest dude on the planet. Mike D'Antoni is simple. All right, this guy knows how to do a pick and roll very well. Let's institute the pick and roll like Utah did 20 years ago, and it was very effective. Even Saturday night, when the boy went 1 for 12 in the second half, he still had 8 assists because the pick and roll is effective. When Stoudemire comes back, Stoudemire is going to be a monster because the pick and roll is effective. And that's what they ran in Phoenix. Not very well, but they run it better now, I would say, with Jeremy Lin, because that's where he came from. He came from a pick and roll, came from a pick and pop. So you're going to see a lot of that. Jeremy Lin's points will go down. Stoudemire says, I can play with this guy. Whatever. Ultimately, he's got a year contract guaranteed. If Baron Davis ever steps foot on this court again as a New York Knick, everybody should boo him immediately. Baron Davis is terrible.